Hello, everybody. We are back and we are ready to learn more about the planets. Today, we are going to cover two more planets, the planet number 3 and planet number 4, as far as distance from the sun. That would be Earth and Mars. Remember, yesterday um, we covered Venus and Mercury yesterday. We covered Venus and Mercury. And the one thing that we learned that we came away with some pretty important points about the planets is that the planet closest to the sun was Mercury, and it is also the smallest planet. However, it is not the hottest planet because it has no atmosphere, none at all. The temperature fluctuates. It is over 400 degrees um, Celsius during the day, and it is negative 180 degrees Celsius at night. There is no way that human life could survive on that planet. And it has no atmosphere at all, which is why it cannot trap any of the sun's heat. What we learned about Venus is sometimes Venus is called what? Earth's twin sister. Sometimes Venus is called Earth's twin sister. And the reason that is because they are almost the same size. They are almost the same size. But what do we know about Venus's atmosphere? It's made up almost completely of what gas? Right, carbon dioxide. No human life could survive on that planet because we need oxygen to survive. We cannot live in an atmosphere that is mostly carbon dioxide. What is Venus sometimes called? Because of the clouds that create the layer around the planet, holding in the heat. Not what is it called? What do we say about that does to that planet? It creates what? Yes, the greenhouse effect. It creates a greenhouse effect, which is why it gets why it keeps so much heat inside the planet. In fact, it is the hottest planet. Venus, although it is not closest to the sun, it is definitely the hottest planet. Super, super hot. Okay, let's go ahead and read in our Delta reader. We are on page 11 if you are following along in the physical copy, and otherwise open the PDF file in your Bright Thinker and follow along. Earth is the planet we're going to start with today. Earth is the only planet known to support life. Regardless of the science fiction books you might hear, Earth is the only planet that can support life. Our blue planet has a lot of water. Some of the water is in liquid form. Living things need water. We learned that back in our classification unit, I believe. We learned the things that one of the things that living things need is water. Both plants and animals need water to survive. Earth has an atmosphere with gases such as oxygen that living things need. Again, living things need oxygen. Earth's atmosphere and the distance from the sun help Earth stay at temperatures that can support life. So the temperatures don't get too hot or too cold. Earth's moon is rocky and dusty. It has plains and mountains and valleys and many craters. The moon of Earth has no atmosphere. Interesting, right? Okay, let me get my other document out so we can read more facts about Earth. This is the planet that we know the most about because, well, it's where we live. It's our home. All of the planets except for Earth were named after Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. The name Earth is an Old English and German name, which simply means soil. Soil, because that's where we live. Earth is the third planet from the sun, or the third rock from the sun, as some people say, because Earth is one of the 4 rocky inner planets. Earth has how many moons? You should know the answer to this. 1. Earth has 1 moon. That's right. It is the only planet in the entire solar system that has liquid water on its surface. So it is the only planet that is able to support life. And as a result of being the only planet that has liquid water, it is also the only planet that can support in our entire solar system that has life, that is able to support life. The Earth is very fragile. The surface is split into plates, tectonic plates is what we call them, which float on a rocky mantle. The layer between the surface of the Earth, its crust, and its hot liquid core. The inside of the Earth is active with earthquakes, volcanoes, and mountains building takes place along the boundaries of those tectonic plates. As the tectonic plates shift and move around, we can have mountains forming. We can see earthquakes, which create fissures that people fall into, or the magma from the earth can explode out of the earth. And it's usually where one of those tectonic plates has slid or moved away from another one. And when that magma comes out of the earth, then the liquid lava will flow down. The earth is larger than Mercury, Venus, and Mars, the other three planets that are the four rocky inner planets. Of the four rocky inner planets, Earth is the largest. The Earth differs from all of the other planets because it has such a wide diversity of life and intelligent beings. This is only possible because of the Earth's atmosphere. Remember, atmosphere is what was the definition that we used? It's the layer of gases around a space object. That's atmosphere. So, because of Earth's atmosphere, it protects the Earth and it has allowed life on Earth to flourish. That's the only reason that Earth has life like it does. So much abundance of intelligent life. All right, let's take some notes on the planet Earth. First, you're going to put your heading, your name, the date. Today's date is 1/20, 1/20/21, and the lesson. Remember, we're going to have two lessons today. This lesson is Earth. The second lesson will be Mars. All right, let's start our bullet points. Can support life because of distance from the sun and atmosphere with oxygen. Say it. Can support life because of distance from the sun and atmosphere with oxygen. Say it. Can support life because of distance from the sun and atmosphere with oxygen. Say it as you're writing it down. Can support life because of distance from the sun and atmosphere with oxygen. Does anyone remember how we can abbreviate oxygen? Yes, uppercase O and a 2 down by the side, or we call it a subscript, 2 with a subscript. That is the chemical terminology for oxygen. Has 2 oxygen molecules, oxygen, O2, oxygen. Okay, second bullet point. Lots of water. Say it. Lots of water. Say it. Lots of water. Say it as you're writing it down. Lots of water. Does anyone remember the chemical symbol for water? It's made up of 2 different elements, hydrogen and oxygen. It's H2O. So for every 2 hydrogen molecules, there is 1 oxygen molecule, H2O, water. Look at that. You're getting a chemistry lesson in your astronomy lesson. Earth's moon is rocky and dusty. Say it. Earth's moon is rocky and dusty. Say it. Earth's moon is rocky and dusty. Say it as you write it down. Remember, Earth is an uppercase E because we're talking about a specific place. Earth, moon is rocky and dusty. Moon is not uppercase because it doesn't have a name. That's not a proper noun. Earth's moon has no atmosphere. Say it. Earth's moon has no atmosphere. Say it. Earth's moon has no atmosphere. Say it as you're writing it down. Earth's moon has no atmosphere. I have to flip my page for my notes. Oh, no, I don't. That's all there are. All right, let's go ahead and fill out the fact sheet. If you have printed out this fact sheet, you're going to use another one of these. If you are just writing them in your interactive notebook as I am, then let's go ahead and write it down. The first thing is the diameter, which we think to spell diameter. The diameter of Earth is 7,926 miles. 7,926 miles. Then we're going to put our slash so we can put down the kilometers. 12,756 kilometers. 12,756. And if you remember, the surface of Venus was 7,521 miles. The surface of Earth is the diameter is 7,926 miles. 400 miles difference is all. They're almost the same size. All right, our next fact is the surface. We think to spell surface using the of hurt, surface. Rocky with plains, mountains, volcanoes, and craters. And then we're going to put another sentence. Say it. Rocky with plains, mountains, volcanoes, and craters. Listen. Rocky with plains, mountains, volcanoes, and craters. Say it. Rocky with plains, mountains, volcanoes, and craters. Say it as you're writing it down. Rocky with plains, mountains, volcanoes, and craters. Then we are going to put a semicolon. A semicolon is a dot and a comma. Excuse me, a semicolon. This is what we're putting after that, the second half of this sentence. Close to 3/4 covered with water. Say it. Close to 3/4 covered with water. Say it. Close to 3/4 covered with water. Close to 3/4, and that is a fraction. 3/4. 3/4 covered with water. H2O is water. Moons. Well, this one we don't need to talk about, do we? How many moons does Earth have? Right, one moon. Length of day. Hopefully we all know how long a day is on Earth. If you said 24 hours, you are absolutely correct. 24 hours is the length of a day. And what about a year? What is the length of an Earth year? Excuse me, 365 days. That is correct. Well, actually, it's 365.25 days. I am going to correct that on mine. 365.25 days. That's why every 4 years we have a leap year. We have 366 days. Here are the notes that I took for today. On the bottom page, you are going to draw your picture of the planet Earth. If you need to stop the video so that you can see and make sure that your notes match mine, then feel free to do it. I'm going to go ahead and turn to the next page. And on the next page, I'm going to write my heading because we're going to continue on and talk about the planet Mars. So my name, the date is still the 20th, but the lesson has changed. Where you're going to put lesson, you're going to write Mars instead of Earth. Mars. The lesson is Mars. All right, let's go ahead and read about Mars on page 11 in your Delta Reader. Mars is called the red planet because, do you know why? Sure, because of its reddish color. It is smaller than Venus or Earth. The land on Mars is something like Earth's deserts. Mars has hills, valleys, and many craters. It also has many old volcanoes. Frozen water has been found on Mars. Mars has a thin atmosphere, and the average surface temperature on Mars is about negative 63 degrees Celsius, which is negative 81 degrees Fahrenheit. I think I was telling you the wrong temperatures Fahrenheit before because I was just figuring them in my head. Okay, that's all there is in that. That's not very much information. All right, let's read about Mars in our other packet. Mars was named after the Roman god of war. That we already knew, right? It is described as the red planet because it is covered with rust-like dust. That's due to the high iron concentration in the dust. Mars is the fourth planet from the sun. It is the second smallest planet in our solar system. Mars has 2 moons. Mars looks a lot like our home, though instead of blue oceans and green land, Mars is home to an ever-present red tint. This is due to a mineral called iron oxide that is very common on the planet's surface. Mars has many massive volcanoes, and it is home to Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in our solar system. It stands 21 kilometers high, and it is 600 kilometers across the base. Kilometers. I'm sorry, kilometers, kilometers. Mars has seasons like Earth, too. These seasons are much longer than Earth seasons because Mars is so much farther from the sun. Mars experiences violent dust storms which continually change its surface. Mars has a very thin atmosphere made mostly of carbon dioxide. What planet does that sound like? Yes, like Venus. Mostly carbon dioxide. It is not thick enough to trap the sun's heat like Venus's, so the planet is very cold. Temperatures range from 120 degrees Celsius, negative 120, degrees Celsius on winter nights to only 25 degrees Celsius in the summer. Not very warm. Slightly above freezing. Okay, let's go ahead and take some notes. Our first bullet point on Mars. Where are my notes? Good gravy. Get my act together here. Oh, red planet. Say it. Red planet. Say it. Red planet. Say it as you're writing it down. Red planet. Next bullet point. Smaller than Venus or Earth. Say it. Smaller than Venus or Earth. Say it. Smaller than Venus or Earth. Say it as you're writing it down. Smaller than Venus, which is an uppercase V, or Earth. Next bullet point. Land is like a desert with hills, valleys, and craters. Say it. Land is like a desert with hills, valleys, and craters. Say it. Land is like a desert with hills, valleys, and craters. Say it as you're writing it down. Land is like a desert, only one S, with hills, valleys, and craters. Okay, next bullet point. Many old volcanoes, say it. Many old volcanoes. Say it. Many old volcanoes. Say it as you're writing it down. Many old volcanoes. Next bullet point. Frozen water has been found. Say it. Frozen water has been found. Say it. Frozen water has been found. Say it as you're writing it down. Frozen water, I'm going to write H2O, has been found. Thin atmosphere. Say it. Thin atmosphere. Say it. Thin atmosphere. Say it as you're writing it down. Thin atmosphere. And last bullet point. Average temperature, negative 63 degrees Celsius. Say it. Average temperature, negative 63 degrees Celsius. Say it. Average temperature, negative 63 degrees Celsius. Say it as you're writing it down. Average temperature, temperature, negative, then you're just going to put the minus sign, 63, and then degrees is just a little circle at the top of the number. 63 degrees, or you can write it out, degrees, and then Celsius is abbreviated a big C. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So negative 63 degrees Celsius. Okay, let's go ahead and write our next facts. If you're using, whoops, that's upside down, sorry. If you're using this fact sheet, you're going to fill out another one of these and glue it on into your notebook. If you are just writing that information in your notebook, as I am, we're going to go ahead and write diameter. Remember, it's diameter, that's how we spell it. The diameter of Earth, no, we're on Mars. The diameter of Mars is 4,220 miles. 4,220 miles. Remember to make your slash. That is 6,792 kilometers. 6,792 kilometers. The surface. Remember, we think to spell surface. Surface. Desert with highlands, lowlands, craters, and volcanoes. Say it. Desert with highlands, lowlands, volcanoes, and craters. Say it. Desert with highlands, lowlands, volcanoes, and craters. And both highlands and lowlands are compound words. Desert with high lands, lowlands, volcanoes, and craters. After surface, we have moons. Does anybody remember how many moons there are on Mars? How many moons does Mars have? 2. If you said 2, you are absolutely correct. Because remember, the 4 rocky inner planets have few or no moons. The length of a day. Length of day. 24 Earth hours and 37 minutes. 24 hours and 37 minutes. Very close to the same length that we have. 24 Earth hours and 37 minutes. Very close to the same length of our days. But the length of the year you will see is quite different. 687 Earth days, twice as long. 687 Earth days. It's because it's farther away from the sun. Okay, I'm going to show you my notes. Remember, if you need to stop the video so that you can get the notes and make sure that yours match mine, in the bottom of the page is where you are going to draw your picture of the planet Mars. And in addition, you are going to turn this page, Mars, and the page we did earlier in this video, Earth. You're going to submit both of those for a grade today. Be sure you turn them in. You guys have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to do the next two planets, and the next two planets would be just served, or Jupiter and Saturn. You guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.